we don't need roads.
Ms. Weaver, it's an honor to see you again. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you doing, Jake?
I'm doing so well. It's so good to see you. I've got 1,000 questions for you, so I'm just going to jump into this. I have to tell you, I genuinely loved watching you break the fourth wall. It was genuinely fascinating getting inside your character's head and having her speak directly to us. So of all of the other great characters you've played in your career, what's another one you would have liked to have done that with? Another character you would have loved to just stop in the middle of a scene and then speak to the audience?
Wow, what an interesting question. It's hard to answer because it felt like such an organic part of Hildy. And it was a big reason I did the story showing this older woman who's kind of up against it, putting up this brave facade. And then she turns to the audience and lets her hair down, tells them what's really going on. I'd have to really think about that because, you know, to have that opportunity to confide in the audience, to make them kind of a co-conspirator in what she's up to was such a, you know, the movie is really well made and kind of an old-fashioned love story, but the breaking of the fourth wall to me makes it really interesting and different. And how often do we get to hear from an older woman from her point of view, who's also funny? Like never.
It was honestly, it was like two different films, but perfectly blended together. It was very well done because the breaking of the fourth wall, I feel like, can go different directions, but it's very well done here. I really did love just hearing Hildy speak about houses, how they impact people, how something as simple as the layout of a room or a home has the power to alter someone's life. I'm curious how much a setting has the power to affect an acting experience, whether it's the Nostromo and Alien, New York and Ghostbusters, or just a small town in this film. How much does a set or a location have the power to impact your experience as an actor?
It's a great question because I think we did get to shoot this in this beautiful town in Nova Scotia, which I think helped us a lot. We all got to live in the same little town. And we were there for, I don't know, 6 weeks at least. And sometimes when you're like, for instance, with Dave, one of my other films with Kevin, we started in DC, but then we did go to Los Angeles, and they built a replica of the White House for us. So I always would rather work in the place where the story's really happening. I love the authenticity of that. And I also love the magic of what happens on a sound stage. So we did the same thing with Ghostbusters, actually. We started at the San Remo, Central Park West, and then we moved the whole thing out west. So it's interesting. It does make a big difference. And I was very glad we got to start at least with New York for that one.
I love that. Well, I love the setting in this. It's another character in the film, which is fantastic. I'm going to ask what is a bit of a nerdy question, but I am a nerd and I hope you don't mind. This year is the 35th anniversary of one of my favorite Oscar nominations of all time. And it's your nomination for Best Actress for Aliens. And that's such a flawless performance. And the reason I love it is because it's not the kind of film that normally gets Oscar love. I'm sort of curious if you feel in any way like your Oscar nomination was a watershed moment for genre films to be taken more seriously in Hollywood, because that really felt like Hollywood was going one way and then all of a sudden it started going the other way because of your Oscar nomination.
Well, it was a huge surprise to all of us because it was in that other world. And, I think that Jim Cameron created such an amazing structure for the character of Ripley to start out kind of, with no one believing her and thinking she's crazy and all these other things. He gave me so much to work with. And I really appreciate the Academy community, getting over whatever prejudices they might have against this kind of sci-fi genre and nominating me for the actual work, because I do think it's an amazing role. And I was very, very honored to be nominated for it.
Well, that was an amazing role, and so is Hildy, and you are just absolutely phenomenal in anything and everything that you do. And it's never short of an honor anytime I get to speak with you. So seriously, I know you have a busy day. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you, Jake. You have
a great day. It was a real pleasure. Thank you. You too.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.